Hello grade 7 learners, how are you doing? I hope that you are all doing fine. Welcome to the third week of quarter 3 of our mathematics class for grade 7. So what are you waiting for? Let us now start. Today, this is Teacher Catherine and I will be joining you for this week's lesson, which will focus on the following lesson objective. At the end of this video lesson, you should be able to derive relationships among angles formed by parallel lines cut by a transversal using measurement and by inductive reasoning. And in this video lesson, we will be talking about, first, parallel lines, second, perpendicular lines, and lastly, parallel lines cut by transversals. I hope and I am sure that you are very much excited with these lessons, so let's start with the first one. So we will now be talking about parallel lines. But before we proceed with its definition, I want you to focus on the following pictures. Here is the first picture. Oh, I hope and I am very much sure that this picture is very familiar to all of you. Take a look on the road, or imagine that you are standing at the middle of the road. Do you see a line? How about for this one? I am very sure that you are always staring at these lines as you travel along the road. So we have here electrical lines. These two, if you are going to take a look on the road or on the highway, you can see lines that are unending, or lines that are two or more lines that are parallel, or they do not have end. Same is true with the electrical wires that we are using. So what is a parallel line? Parallel lines are coplanar lines that do not intersect. The distance between two parallel lines is fixed, okay? So they have the same distance. That makes it not intersecting. Let's say, for example, we have here lines M and N. Lines M and N are parallel lines, and the distance between these two lines is constant or the same. In symbols, we write parallel lines like this. We write M, and then we have two vertical lines and then N, and that is read as line M is parallel to line N. Is that clear? Okay, that's great. Let us have the next one. Okay, we will now be proceeding with perpendicular lines. Once again, before we have the definition of these lines, of perpendicular lines, I want you to take a look on these pictures. And with these pictures, I am very much sure that you will appreciate the importance of mathematics in our real life or in our daily living. Okay, so we have here the rice fields. Could you imagine that this is how beautiful rice fields are in its aerial view? And so as we can see, we have here lines, different lines that are intersecting. By the way, intersecting lines are lines that meet at a common point. So we have here different or a lot of intersecting lines. And we also have another here. Okay, so we have on our highways or in our barangay roads, you can see this intersection. This is the crossing. Sometimes we are using the term crossing on this. So these are examples of perpendicular lines. And what do you see with these perpendicular lines? Alright, so it looks like a cross, isn't it? So it seems like we are dividing a square or a rectangle into 4 equal parts. So what is a perpendicular line? Let's have its definition. Perpendicular lines are lines that intersect at right angles. So when we say right angles, perpendicular lines, that means that we are forming 90-degree angle if we have perpendicular lines. So we have here a figure. So in this accompanying figure, or in this given figure, line AB intersect at point O with line CD, and they form right angles. Take note and always remember that this symbol is a symbol for right angle. So we say, since they formed a right angle, we can say that line AB is perpendicular to line CD. So in symbol, we will be writing it as line AB is perpendicular. This is the symbol for perpendicular. It is inverted T to line CD. And we read it as line AB is perpendicular to line CD. That is how we read this symbol. Since angle AOC and BOC form a linear pair, they are supplementary. That means that angle AOC plus angle BOC is equal to 180 degrees. So that the measurement of this angle BOC is also equal to 180 degrees. And in the same manner, angle AOD is equal to 90 degrees. And angle BOD is also equal to 90 degrees. Thus, perpendicular lines form 4 right angles. Always take note of that. If we have a perpendicular line, they are forming 4 right angles. Okay, so let us now, I hope that the perpendicular and parallel lines are already clear to you, and I am pretty much sure that you can now distinguish the difference between these two pairs of angles. This time, we will now be proceeding to our last topic, which is the parallel lines cut by a transversal. So what is this transversal all about? So when we say transversal, it is a line intersecting 2 or more coplanar lines at different points. So this time, a transversal is a line that intersects a parallel line. In our figure, we have here line L and line M, and then we have here another line which is T. Line T is the transversal. So as you can see, it cut our parallel line. And we will now be discussing the angles formed by transversal. It is very important that we should be able to know the exterior and interior points first before, or interior angles first, before proceeding with the deeper angles formed by the transversal. So let us have first the exterior angles. So from the word itself, exterior. So that means that we will be talking about angles in the external of the parallel lines. So by definition, angles formed by the transversal at the outer part of the parallel lines are called exterior angles. So what are these angles? First, we have the angle 1, next, angle 2, angle 7, and angle 8. These are the exterior angles. What do you think is the next? Okay, so we will be having the interior angles. So for the interior angles, these are the angles formed by the transversal at the inner part of the parallel lines. So inner part, so most probably these are the angles that we are talking about. So the interior angles of these parallel lines cut by transversal are angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6. Is that clear? Now that you are already familiar with the exterior and interior angles, we will now proceed with the next angles formed by transversal. So the first one is the alternate interior angles. We already know what are interior angles, but we have to understand also what do we mean by alternate. So alternate interior angles are pairs of non-adjacent interior angles on opposite sides of a transversal. Again, alternate interior angles are pairs of non-adjacent interior angles on opposite sides of a transversal. So since this is our transversal, we will be referring to the opposite sides, okay? So the first interior angle that we have is angle 3 and angle 6, and then angle 4 and angle 5. We will not be including angle 1 and 2, 7 and 8 anymore because they are not interior angles. Is that clear? Let's have the next. And wait, always remember that alternate interior angles are always congruent. So the measurement of angle 3 and angle 6 are the same. Same is true with angle 4 and angle 5. Let's have alternate exterior angles. This time we will be referring to alternate exterior. So for alternate exterior angles, these are pair of non-adjacent exterior angles on opposite sides of a transversal. So what do you think is the first pair? Okay, if your answer is angle 1 and angle 8, you are correct. What is the next? Very good. We have angle 2 and angle 7. And just like the alternate exterior angle, or just like the alternate interior angles, exterior angles or alternate exterior angles are also congruent. So their measurement is the same. Let us have the next one. Corresponding angles. Corresponding angles are pairs of non-adjacent interior and exterior angles on the same side of transversal. So our transversal have two sides. We have the left and the right side. And take note that the angles that we are referring to here are the non-adjacent interior and exterior angles. So one is interior and the other one is exterior. So let us have the first pair. Angle 1 and angle 5. Angle 1 is located at the exterior and angle 5 is located in the interior. And they are on the same side of our transversal line. Okay, we also have angle 2 and angle 6. They are also corresponding angles. Next, what do you think is the next pair? Very good. We have angle 3 and angle 7. And lastly, we have angle 4 and angle 8. And just like our alternate exterior and interior angles, always remember that corresponding angles are also congruent. Let's have now to the next angle. Okay, the next is the same side interior angles. Same side interior angles, from the word itself, refers to interior angles on the same side of transversal. Interior angles, and they are on the same side. So our same side interior angles are angle 3 and angle 5, and angle 4 and angle 6. What do you think? Are they congruent? Okay. Same side interior angles are supplementary. They are not congruent. Again, they are supplementary, meaning the sum of the measurements of these of each pair of angles is 180 degrees. We also have same side exterior angles and exterior angles on the same side of transversal. Exterior angles, but they are on the same side. So we have angle 1 and angle 7 and angle 2 and angle 8. And just like the previous slide, same side exterior angles are also supplementary. So if you are going to add them, the sum is 180 degrees. And just a tip to all of you, any consecutive angle on the angles formed by the transversal and parallel lines are always supplementary. Take note of that. Okay, so what do you think is the next? Of course, we have to apply what we have learned with computation. Okay, so let us have the following example. Lines P and Q are cut by transversal R, and the measurement of angle 3 is given, which is 125 degrees. Assume that P is parallel to Q. Find the measurements of all other angles. So let us start with angle 1. The measurement of angle 1 is 125 degrees. Why and how did it happen? Since we are given angle 3, which measures 125 degrees, and as you can see, angle 3 and angle 1 are vertical angles. Therefore, the measurement of angle 1 is 125 degrees also. Okay, let us have now angle 2. So for angle 2, the measurement of angle 2 is 55 degrees. Why? Since angle 3 and angle 2 are adjacent angles, that means that they are supplementary angles. So all we have to do is to subtract 180 degrees minus 125 degrees. So the answer or the difference is 55 degrees. Therefore, the measurement of angle 2 is 55 degrees. Let's have the next. Okay, angle 4 is equal to 55 degrees. How did it happen? Very good. Angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles. And we all know that vertical angles have the same measure, or they are congruent. Since angle 2 is equal to 55 degrees, angle 4 is also equal to 55 degrees. Let's now have angle 5. The measurement of angle 5 is 125 degrees. How? Since angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles, their measurement is the same. Let's have the next. We have angle 6. Angle 6 is 55 degrees. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles, isn't it? That makes it measure 55 degrees. Let's have the next. We have now angle 7. Angle 7 is 55 degrees. We can have different explanations on this, but if you wish to, angle 7 is equal to 55 degrees simply because angle 4 and angle 7 are corresponding angles. Or you can also justify that angle 6 and angle 7 are vertical angles, so their measurement is the same. Next is angle 8. How about for angle 8? What do you think is the measurement of angle 8? Okay, let's see. For angle 8, the measurement is 125 degrees. Its explanation is angle 3 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. And since they are corresponding, their measurement is the same. Therefore, the measurement of angle 8 is 125 degrees. The easiest way for you to identify all the measurements of all of the other angles is that you have to determine the corresponding angles one at a time and then label its measurement. And then you also have to identify the alternate interior angles, or the same side interior angles rather, so that you can subtract it from 180 degrees. And the difference is already its measure. So I hope that you have learned something today, and you can do more activities on your activity sheets or on the modules given by your teacher. Again, this is Teacher Catherine. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see you next time. Do not forget to subscribe and comment down your reflections and your comments in this video. Thank you and God bless. Keep safe.